Hey guys, what's going on? Branch Brown here, physical therapist and wellness coach with Get Your Fix Physical Therapy, Get Your Fix Nutrition, CrossFit coach at CrossFit Majestic. And I work with runners and CrossFitters to get them from injury to PR in 8 to 12 weeks by utilizing both normal physical therapy methods as well as integrating nutrition into the plan of care. We're talking about different diagnoses that can shut people down at times from running, and I really want to continue getting into why these diagnoses are not death sentences for you. Why it doesn't mean you have to stop training forever, why you don't have to give up the things that you love, why it's just a temporary setback and we can get you back to everything sooner rather than later. So today we're still with the knee, getting into patellar tendinitis. So this is typically going to be pain on the front of the knee, just below your kneecap. That kind of soft, squishy area there that runs from that kneecap down to that long bone, also known as your tibia. That is the tendon that comes off the quad and then encapsulates that kneecap and goes just below that kneecap. So this is referred to as patellar tendinitis most often. Sometimes you'll hear it as quadriceps tendinitis, but most common term is patellar tendinitis. Now, what causes this? Same thing that causes the other knee pain things that I've been speaking of. It comes down to biomechanical changes or deficits. So something's tight, not moving right, the knee takes the brunt of it. Something's weak, something's unstable, not moving right, or so it doesn't support that leg very well, the knee takes the brunt of it. Anything foot and ankle going on, anything hip going on, that knee takes the brunt of it because of the way that leg works. So what do you do about it? Rest may be needed temporarily. Once again, from a pure biological standpoint? Great question, Jason. So any itis, just medical terminology, any itis is going to be inflammation. So by tendinitis, basically that means there's inflammation surrounding a tendon. Tendon is going to be the soft tissue that connects muscle to bone. So all muscles have tendons to them. It's what holds it onto the bone. The makeup of a tendon, basically it's very little contractile tissue, so it's just a very solid structure that because of abnormal pulling on the area develops the tendinitis, or develops an inflammation in the area. That's going to be your tendinitis. Now, how do we treat tendinitis? So we want to decrease that inflammation in order to help decrease the pain. Now, a lot of people are going to say ice. Tendon is not self-damage, the surrounding area. It's not even damage necessarily. Just because there's inflammation doesn't mean there's damage. And this is also where it can get a little bit confusing. So if you let a tendinitis go for too long, it becomes a tendinosis, and that's when we get our damage. So if you start getting pain, start getting some inflammation in there, 1 or 2 weeks, not going to be a problem. If we're several months into this and you're still ignoring the pain, not doing anything about it, we're just pushing your way through it, that's when we start getting into a tendinosis state. That's a breakdown of that tendon. So we're starting to get, if you let these problems go too long, then we start getting damage to the tendon itself. It starts to weaken. Then we can tear that if we keep going into it too long. So it's definitely something you don't want to ignore. It's something that we need to take care of, and then once you take care of it, this whole damage possibility goes away. So how do we take care of it? First of all, we need to decrease that inflammation. Now, a lot of people suggest ice. Me personally, the research has started to switch on what it's actually showing, and that by icing decreases all the healing properties to that area. So when we actually apply ice to the area, we actually take all those healing properties to get rid of that inflammation, and we push them away. So it's actually not the best thing to do for it. So you still will hear a lot of medical people and including therapists, suggesting ice. I am not one of those people. I don't see, the research doesn't back it anymore. It's almost showing the opposite. Now, what you can do, or what the research does show helps, is eccentric activity for tendinitis. So what we mean is we are slowly elongating the area. So when, if you want to think of like a negative, so if you're doing, just to put it to a different perspective, if we're thinking building up strength on pull-ups, we do negatives. So it's that slow lowering phase of a muscle group. So and with the, so anything you can do to eccentrically load the quadricep and really work on that slow extensibility of that is kind of where we want to look. So putting some, like if we're doing like air squats, putting some power into it coming up and then slowly taking ourselves back down and working that lowering phase to work on elongating it. And that's kind of where we're going to help with these tendinitises. The other way too is, if this doesn't work for you, that's when we want to get you first and foremost into therapy of some sort in order to address it. Have someone who knows what they're doing address it and really take care of it from that external standpoint. And we also look at it, or at least I also look at it from a nutrition standpoint. What can we get into your body to decrease the inflammation that is in there? So what foods can we use, as well as what are we putting in our body that is causing some of this inflammation process to happen? Because a lot of times what we put in our system can contribute to inflammation in our body as well. So we have to attack it. I personally attack it from both an external and an internal method. So my hands-on stuff externally, exercises, that sort of thing, as well as nutrition to work on the inflammation internally. So that's what I got for you today. If you have any further questions on this, definitely comment on here. Ask any questions you have. If you have any specific questions for me, feel free to reach out to me through Facebook Messenger. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. So otherwise, have a fabulous rest of your day. Have a fabulous couple days, and I'll check in with you guys again on Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.